everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Thomas Wayne Unmasked Flashpoint Batman. Now, McFarlane Toys released a Flashpoint Batman a while ago, and it's one of their better figures. And now we have this unmasked version. Thomas Wayne is Bruce Wayne's father, and he's from an alternate multiverse where Bruce Wayne died and Thomas Wayne became the Batman. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys got the Spawn logo there. Ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse, Batman Unmasked. Here's Thomas Wayne. He's got gray hair. Really nice looking face. Neck seems a little big. Looks kind of beefy. Looks kind of weird. Sword here. Got his pistols again. One side, Batman Unmasked, Flashpoint. Other side simply says Batman Unmasked. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here he is from the comics, and here are a bunch of other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. Now, I got my figure at Target, and I actually have another one on the way from GameStop.com. I'm definitely going to take his extra head and make a Thomas Wayne on a suited body. So no further ado, let's open it up. And I'll be damned. As soon as I opened this one I got from Target, my package from GameStop arrived at my doorstep. Not only did GameStop actually pick the right figure for me, but it arrived a few days early. I'm planning to have one to keep unopened, one to make a Thomas Wayne in a business suit, and one to keep as an unmasked Thomas Wayne Batman. Here's the unmasked version next to the standard release. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, 2 pistols, and a sword. But before we take a look at those accessories, let's take a look at the actual figure. So this is on the same Flashpoint Batman body they used before, and it's a great sculpt, great body. But let's look at his head. That is a new thing about this figure. I'll tell you, the face sculpt, I think it looks great. I've heard some people mentioning they're going to buy this, take the head off, paint the hair black, and use it as a Bruce Wayne custom. I think that's a pretty cool idea. The hair looks good. Part of the right-hand side, it's gray because Thomas Wayne's a little bit older. The nose, mouth, the cheeks, the eyes, it all looks really good. I think it looks better in person than it does on film. My biggest problem, the neck looks way too big. He looks like a meathead here. It's just very fat compared to the head. I don't like that. Going further down, the cape has those little points from the original Flashpoint Batman. Actually, I do want to mention they added a cowl sort of hanging off the back here. Very nice. They could have just taken the existing Flashpoint body, popped an unmasked head on there, but they went one step further. The neck is not the same as the previous version. They give it a new neck, and they gave it the cowl back here. I really like the stubble on his beard as well. Good job, McFarlane. But like I said before, they could have easily just popped his head onto the other Flashpoint, but they took it one step further, added this, and used a little bit of a different neck. He's got that bat symbol on top of the red in his chest. The suit looks great. There are some sculpted lines here, some wrinkles, showing material. The red utility belt, I love the pouches. Of course, he's got the 2 holsters, very different for a Batman using guns. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Overall, definitely like what I'm seeing here, and I like that unmasked head. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, DC logo at the bottom, 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet, very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. This is from the cover of Batman number 22 from the Rebirth comics, and it just so happens I have this book right here. Here's this new unmasked Flashpoint Batman's card next to the card that came with the original masked Flashpoint Batman. They are 100% identical. And just FYI, anybody who missed out on the Target exclusive version of the Flashpoint Batman, it is no longer only available at Target. You can pre-order it at BigBadToyStore.com right now if you didn't get one. Now let's check out his pistols. They're both completely black, but a little bit of silver or gray highlights on them. Some weathering. It looks pretty nice, like they've been handled for a while. The sculpting detail is pretty good. You can see on the base of the handle there. Overall, some pretty nice pistols. And they are 100% identical to the pistols that came with the standard version of the Flashpoint Batman. And they're pretty much the same as the pistols that came with Red Hood. Obviously Red Hood's pistols are silver instead of black, and they have this bat symbol on the barrel. but beyond that, the same sculpt. Here's Thomas Wayne holding the pistols. He can point them straight at you. He can also hold them above his head. And here he is holstering the pistols. I love functioning weapon holsters and sheaths. Very nice job, McFarlane. Eat that, Deathstroke. Now let's look at his sword. And you may wonder, why does this Batman come with a sword? That is the first question I had when I saw this figure. Well, it turns out in the comic, he picked up the sword and killed Reverse Flash with it in the Flashpoint series. So the sword here, the blade looks very nice. You can see it's got some subtle damage all over the blade. Very nice detailing, like it's had some use. It's got some nice designs on the gold sword area here. The handle itself is red, it has a good sculpting detail. Overall, it's not a bad sword, more damage on the other side, but it is very flimsy. That's something I don't like about it. Here's the comic panel in Flashpoint number 5, where Thomas Wayne stabs Reverse Flash with the sword. Here's Thomas Wayne holding the sword. McFarlane does have a problem making their swords a little bit too long and exaggerated. Now he can hold the sword with either one hand or with two. Here's Thomas Wayne stabbing Reverse Flash through the back, just like in the Flashpoint series. And while not exactly an accessory of his, I did mention earlier, I got 2 of the Flashpoint Unmasked Thomas Wayne Batman figures, so I can make one of them a Thomas Wayne on a suit. So I'm going to heat up some water, pop off the head, and see if this works okay. So I went ahead and dipped the figure into some boiling water. I was able to pop off the head easily. Now I hope it fits onto the suited body I had set aside for this thing. Well, the head fit perfectly. I set aside this Triple H Elite body in a black suit a long time ago for this purpose. I really wanted to make a big bruiser type Thomas Wayne. Should be on a very large body, and this wrestling figure worked perfect. And here's my entire McFarlane Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman collection. We've got the standard version with the mask on, then we have the new variant with the mask off, and then we have the suited Thomas Wayne figure that I made. Very pleased with all 3 of these figures. And you would think it would be a good thing reuniting Bruce Wayne with his long-lost father, Thomas Wayne. But unfortunately, in the Rebirth comics, when whatever caused Thomas Wayne to come into our multiverse, he actually was sort of a villain. Him and Bane caused the death of Alfred. Unfortunately, it wasn't the happy reunion you'd think it would be. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, sitting at about 7.0 inches tall, which is going to translate to a hair under 18 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that much. He can tilt his head from one side to the other, giving him a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. You can go out a little bit more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. There is a butterfly joint between the shoulder and chest area, just increasing the range of motion here. It's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. They go in about this far. Then his wrist here, it's got a ball in it. Can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. It's got a ball joint in his torso. Can rotate around, and also go forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist. It can rotate around and also go forward and back, giving him a pretty wide range of motion in his torso here. Legs go out about this far, not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. The rotation is pretty much non-existent. And then go forward, really not too much, and back about that far. Double jointed knees below that. They go in this far. And then his ankle here, similar to his wrist, got a ball in it. Go forward and back, can rotate, can tilt and rock, and there's toe articulation. I remember having a lot of issues with the previous Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman, specifically his leg area. If you try to get him into a crouching pose, his legs would simply pop out. That is pretty much the only McFarlane figure that I've had break on me. This one here has some similar problems. Really hard to get him to a crouching pose. Can't have him down on one knee, shooting his pistols. His leg did pop out when I tried to push it as far as it could go, so just be wary there. Here's Thomas Wayne doing some research in the Batcave. This is what I love these heroes with their masks off for. Here's Thomas Wayne approaching Bruce Wayne in his office, Wayne Enterprises. Thomas Wayne is telling him that his company is on borrowed time, it's rightfully his, and he is going to take it back. You can see Bruce Wayne's secretary in the background, kind of in an awkward spot. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to the original version of the Flashpoint Batman. They are 100% the same sculpt and paint job, pretty much from the neck down. But looking above there, of course their heads are different. I don't even need to explain that. But the neck area is considerably different as well. As you can see down here, he's got some sculpting lines on his neck, and they're absent on this guy. So the actual neck is different, but the cape is also different. You can see his, it sort of has a collar thing coming up here on the sides. His is different. Very nice job, McFarlane, not cheaping out. They could have simply put this head onto this body, but they took it one step further. And then, of course, on the back, the new unmasked version has a cowl hanging back there. Once again, very pleased how McFarlane handled that. Now, this is not the first time McFarlane has made someone other than Bruce Wayne in the Bat costume. Here he is, next to both Jean-Paul Valley and Terry McGinnis, wearing different variations of the Bat suit. Then, here he is next to Omega. This is another evil Batman, although this one turned out to actually beat Bruce Wayne. You could probably use this older Thomas Wayne head onto Omega, and it would look like the older evil Bruce Wayne from the Last Night on Earth comic. And here he is, next to all the other evil Batman figures from the Dark Knight's Metal. And here he is, next to all the different Bruce Wayne as Batman figures McFarlane has made in their DC Multiverse collection. Here's my entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection, including all the variants. I've got a total of 71 figures and 2 vehicles, and I'm not even fully caught up. Still trying to locate a Platinum, Silver Gorilla Grodd, and I need the single basic release of Batman Beyond as well. And just a more aerial shot of the entire collection. Here's the McFarlane Flashpoint Batman next to the DC Direct Flashpoint Batman. I actually ended up with 2 of these guys. One is a single release, and one from the 4-pack. And I believe this is an Earth 2 Batman, but he is very reminiscent and similar to the Flashpoint look. Here are a few different action figures played by the actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The reason I'm showing these figures next to Thomas Wayne, Jeffrey Dean Morgan played Thomas Wayne in Batman vs. Superman. He also played the comedian in Watchmen and Negan in Walking Dead. For a long time, there were rumors that Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be playing Thomas Wayne in a Flashpoint film, but it seems like those plans went to hell. Now they're sort of substituting Michael Keaton in the role of Thomas Wayne in the upcoming Flash film. But it would have been cool to have this happen. Here are all the DC Direct Flashpoint figures that I have, and I believe I'm missing a couple. I believe they have a Cyborg and a Reverse Flash as well. Here's my entire collection of Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman figures. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a 7-inch action figure line, I'll start off my comparisons with some of the larger lines I collect and work my way smaller. Here he is, next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then with some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Then with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a very cool action figure. I've seen a lot of people complain that they could have just packed in the unmasked head with the regular Thomas Wayne Batman, and that's definitely true. I've seen the same complaints about the upcoming Bruce Wayne from Snyder Cut or Shriek from Batman Beyond. It's just a way for McFarlane to capitalize on the sculpt and to reuse it, make some more money, and I'm okay with that. I actually think his head looks very good. Personally, I'm more excited for my suited Thomas Wayne figure than this unmasked Flashpoint Batman, but that's just me. I think I'm going to get a lot more usage and mileage out of that version than this version. The figure does look good, and the Flashpoint Batman is one of the better McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. So this guy does not disappoint. His accessories are pretty cool. He comes with the 2 pistols and that giant sword. Probably going to end up giving that sword to somebody else. His articulation is also pretty good, mainly lacking the thigh area. McFarlane has improved over that over time, but this figure was when they had absolutely nothing going on in the thigh swivel department. Overall, if I rate this guy, probably give him a 6.5 out of 10. Wasn't super excited for the unmasked Thomas Wayne, but I found something that's going to make him very useful to me. Put him on the suited body. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.